Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about my top 12 quarterback rankings post the 2021 NFL Draft. In this video, we're going to be talking about why I have each quarterback ranked where I do inside of the top 12 for fantasy football in 2021. We're going to talk about their stats from last season, as well as to where I project them finishing this year, talking about things that have changed and how I feel that each quarterback will maybe develop, or maybe they'll take a step down, they'll simmer down a little in 2021. So before I get into this video, if at any point you end up enjoying, you have a great time, you have a nice chuckle, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, because not only is it free, I put out content every single day to help you guys win your 2021 fantasy football championships. So without further ado, let's get into it as well. If you want to see my top 12 quarterbacks, that's this fucking video, running backs or wide receivers, make sure that you check back on my channel. The last two videos were running backs and wide receivers, and tomorrow's video will probably end up being my top 12 tight end rankings early, and they will keep changing as the offseason goes on until we eventually hit the final video right before the season, where I drop all of my quarterback rankings inside of the same video. Same thing goes with running backs, wide receivers, and tight end. Now, a quick disclaimer, I'm going to be talking about points per game in this video, because I find that points per game finish is kind of more important than finish at the end of the season, because finish at the end of the season is based strictly upon, did you play 15 games? Did you play 16 games? Or did you play like 5 games or 4 games? It doesn't really tell you exactly how good the player was on the season. Well, it does technically tell you that, but it doesn't tell you on a per-game standpoint, which is really what you're looking for in fantasy. But the reason why I lay this disclaimer is because Mariota is the quarterback 2 in 4-point per passing touchdown, and quarterback 5 in 6-point per passing touchdown. So there is kind of just... there's not going to be someone that I talk about as quarterback 2 in 4-point or quarterback 5 in 6-point, because it's Mariota in that one really good game he had for the Las Vegas Raiders, I believe, up against the Los Angeles Chargers. So we begin at number 1 with Mr. Kermit the Frog himself, Patty Mahomes. Last season, Patrick Mahomes played in 15 games, finishing as quarterback 4 in 4-point per passing touchdown leagues and quarterback 3 in 6-point per passing touchdowns leagues, averaging 25 4-point per passing touchdowns points per game and 30 in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues, meaning from a points per game perspective, he was quarterback 3 in 4-point and quarterback number 2 in 6-point per passing touchdown. Now, I would say a majority of leagues at this point are 4-point per passing touchdown leagues. 6-point per passing touchdown leagues definitely are still a thing. People still playing them. But to me, those are kind of the older thought of thinking, kind of like how standard is an older thought of thinking, whereas PPR and half PPR is kind of the new wave, the new fad for all the youngsters out there. So Patrick Mahomes last year obviously had a very good season, following what was a really good season in 2019, as well as in 2018. He threw the ball 589 times, which is around 39.3 per game, ranking 5th at the quarterback position for throwing for almost 5,000 yards, 4,737, second highest at the quarterback position, for a grand total of 7 zillion touchdowns. In reality, it's obviously not that high. He threw 38 passing touchdowns, 4th highest at the quarterback position, as well as getting a little bit spicy on the ground. But obviously, Mahomes isn't going to be like Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts or one of those guys out there, because frankly, he doesn't have to. He could just air the ball out, but he did run the 8th highest amount at the quarterback position with 63 carries for 302 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. Now, that's not something that's necessarily going to be why you draft Patrick Mahomes, but it's definitely a nice uptick from some quarterbacks who obviously do not end up rushing at all. Mahomes also had a 38-6 touchdown to interception ratio, which is obviously very good. Now, there's not too much to explain when it comes to Patrick Mahomes. In my opinion, this guy is bar none the best quarterback in the NFL. In the Super Bowl, the offensive line completely sucks ass. They are just letting everyone, they're just wide open. The whole line fucking just opens up, and the defensive line is pounding them, and Mahomes is still throwing the ball. He's like diving sideways, if you guys remember that. He's like fucking midair, Kobe throws it up, it hits the guy in the face mask. Like, this guy's literally unreal how good he is. He's going to be good again. Now, drafting a quarterback, drafting Patrick Mahomes in fantasy, in my opinion, is kind of dumb, where a lot of people are going to end up drafting him. I'd rather just take a shot later on one of the other guys, but at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes, if you're looking for a very safe quarterback in the first couple of rounds, Patrick Mahomes is your guy. The Kansas City Chiefs offense is basically exactly the same, just with a more beefed up offensive line. The receivers are pretty much the same. They lost Sammy Watkins, but that doesn't fucking matter at all because the guy was never able to stay healthy. Patrick Mahomes is going to be slanted to Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. That's really all that matters. And he's going to dump the ball off to CEH. So you're going to be very happy yet again with Patrick Mahomes as long as Kool-Aid Man Andy Reid is the head coach of the Chiefs, which I assume will be for a very long time. At number 2, we have the man that Pat Mahomes slayed in the AFC Championship game, Josh Allen, quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. One of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL, even though, as you can see above or behind me, I am a Dolphins fan, but I still love Josh Allen. The guy, so many people just literally hated this guy, and he proved everyone wrong, so congratulations to Josh Allen. Very fun to watch. In 16 games in 2020, finished as quarterback 1 in 4-point per passing touchdown leagues and quarterback 2 in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues. Averaged 24.7 4-point per passing touchdown points per game and 29.3 6-point per passing touchdown points per game. Meaning, from a points per game perspective, he was quarterback 4 in 4-point per passing touchdown leagues and quarterback 4 in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues. Now, what makes Josh Allen so special that he goes above the rest to be my quarterback number 2? Frankly, it's a lot of the rushing ability, as well as the fact that this offense is going to be pumping defenses in the ass, just like the Kansas City Chiefs. And Josh Allen is also notoriously a touchdown stealer in the red zone from the other running backs, Devin Singletary and Zach Moss. He's just going to vulture a bunch of touchdowns every single year. Now, he's not one of those guys that you expect to just make the DB look silly, use his sweet feet, and juke out a defender. But he is so big, 6'5", 237 pounds, that he will just bulldozer over you and make you look stupid in the red zone. 102 carries last year, 4th highest at the quarterback position for 8 total rushing touchdowns, 3rd highest at the quarterback position. That's why you kind of fade the Buffalo running backs, because Josh Allen is a sneaky motherfucker on the goal line. Mr. Joshua Allen threw the rock a grand total of 572 times, 35.8 per game, 6th highest at quarterback for 4,546 passing yards, 5th highest at the quarterback position, as well as throwing for a grand total of just 10 interceptions. 37 touchdowns to 10 interceptions is a pretty solid ratio, considering a lot of people were kind of knocking Josh Allen for not being the most accurate guy, but in 2020, things definitely changed there. The addition of Stephon Diggs helped Josh Allen tenfold. Now, I like Josh Allen a lot. I think in a lot of leagues, quarterback 1's going to be Patrick Mahomes, but after that, I think we're going to see a whole lot of diversity in who goes at that pick. In some leagues, it might be Allen. In other leagues, it might be Lamar Jackson. In other leagues, it might be Kyler Murray. It might be maybe Aaron Rodgers if he stays in Green Bay. So there's going to be a whole lot of different guys going in that 2 to 5 range. A lot of people are going to have different players. I'd be interested to know down below who your guys' top 12 quarterbacks are. If they're different than mine, that's A-okay. Again, I love to talk to you guys in the comments. I try to get to them within a day of you typing down below in the comments. I try to always answer those. So, Josh Allen, again, this offense is going to be ramming the defenses. They are going to be a high-octane offense, moving the ball easily. Josh Allen is going to vulture touchdowns. He's going to rush the ball. He is amazing, and the Bills are going to skullfuck the Jets twice a year. Then the Patriots should be all right, but at the end of the day, the Buffalo Bills, even if they cool down, I think Josh Allen should still be able to stay hot as my quarterback number 2 in 2021. At number 3, we have the short king, 5'2", Kyler Murray, quarterback out of Arizona. Now, he's not actually 5'2", based on what I'm looking at. He's listed as 5'10", but that's a lie. That's a lie. He needs a fucking booster seat when he rides in the car to the stadium, but he's still super good, and that's just a joke, obviously. He doesn't need a booster seat. He's probably like 5'8" in reality, but he's still amazing. In 16 games last year, was quarterback 3 in 4-point per passing touchdown leagues and quarterback 6 in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues, averaging 23.7 4-point per passing touchdown points per game and 26.9 6.9, very nice, I like, in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues. From a points per game perspective, was quarterback 6 in 4-point and quarterback 8 in 6-point. So what makes Kyler Murray so special that he gets to be the number 3 guy? It is the immense rushing upside, which is very important for a quarterback. Now, the people call it the Konami quarterback, which is just the dumbest, in my opinion, way to call it. Basically, it's just a quarterback that's good at running. Kyler Murray is exactly that. He is going to rush for a lot of yards every single season. Last year, he rushed for a grand total of, drum roll please, 819 rushing yards, which is very high. Second highest at the quarterback position, 133 carries. Third highest at the quarterback position, and 11 rushing touchdowns. Second highest at the quarterback position. So this guy's basically a quarterback and a running back together. He stole Lamar Jackson's swagger. Kyler Murray, this offense is going to be very good. Obviously, the addition of DeAndre Hopkins helped him tenfold last season as he threw for 3,900 passing yards, 13th highest at the quarterback position, for a grand total of 26 passing touchdowns, 12th highest at the quarterback position, while only throwing 12 interceptions. So he had a 26-12 touchdown to interception rate, which is pretty solid for an NFL quarterback, especially one that gets so many yards with his feet. Kyler gets even better on offense weapon-wise. Sure, they lose Kenyon Drake, but that doesn't matter at all. Chase Edmonds, James Conner, same shit, different day. He's still going to vulture them, just like what Josh Allen does. And now they add in a new wide receiver in A.J. Green. They bring in Rondell Moore. This is looking like it's going to be a very versatile offense with Cliff Kingsbury. Now, a lot of Cardinals fans dislike Cliff Kingsbury. I'm kind of uneven with Kingsbury, right? I don't really think that the guy fucking sucks, but I also don't think that he's necessarily some type of offensive guru, but it seemed to work for Kyler. Maybe not in real life, right? They're not making the playoffs, but they're looking really good in fantasy, so Kyler Murray will be my quarterback 3 this season. At number 4, we have Dakota Prescott of the Dallas Cowgirls. In 5 games, finishing as quarterback 32 in 4-point per passing touchdown leagues and quarterback 32 in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues, but on a points per game basis, was quarterback 1 in both categories, averaging 26.9 4-point per passing touchdown points per game and 30.5 in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues. Why is that? Because this offense was amazing last year before Dak Prescott ended up getting wheeled out of the stadium, getting a compound ankle fracture and dislocation. He had to have ankle repair surgery, which lasted 4 to 6 months. He should be good to go, obviously, for the beginning of the season. This offense was unreal. Unreal. His weapons are crazy. He is stacked with weapons. Amari Cooper finally stays consistent. Looks really good even with Gilbert Godfrey, Ben DiNucci, and Andy Dalton at the quarterback position. They've got him. They've got Michael Gallup, who a lot of people don't talk about, but he's still pretty good. And they also have CeeDee Lamb, the guy who I probably should have mentioned second because he's second in the pecking order, in my opinion. And they still have Zeke, and their offensive line should be all right. Dak Prescott, another guy, sneaky good at rushing the rock. 3 rushing touchdowns last year in just 5 games, as well as 93 rushing yards. But again, that's only in 3 games, and he does typically get like 3 to 5 touchdowns every single year, so you should be pretty happy with Dak when it comes to the rushing category. But in the passing category, this guy was literally on pace to probably throw for 7 zillion yards. He just had to be. In 5 games, this motherfucker had 1,800 passing yards and 9 touchdowns. He was playing out of his mind. And while they still have Mike McCarthy there, who I do not really like as a head coach, I still think that the weapons there are strong enough. And based upon everything I've seen from all these fantasy doctors, all these real-life doctors, Dak will be fine, his ankle will be fine, and the Dallas Cowboys defense probably won't be fine because they did address it in the draft. They were throwing darts everywhere at the fucking screen trying to repair a broken defense, and maybe it worked, and maybe the defense will be much better, but I project there's going to be a lot of scoring in Jerry's world in 2021. If you guys have ended up enjoying this video throughout the first 10-12 minutes of this video, make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Back at it to quarterback number 5, a guy who a lot of people thought was going to be the number 1 guy, and I was fading a little bit last year. That is Lamar Jackson, quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens. I have a feeling that a lot of people are still going to end up ranking him as like a top 3-ish guy. I got him at 5. Again, that's nothing against Lamar Jackson. He is still very good, and they ended up actually giving him a weapon in the draft. Huge round of applause to the Baltimore Ravens for ending up doing that. But is that going to be enough at the end of the day to elevate him to be a top 5 guy again? Probably, but again, you just have to hope that they are rushing the ball with as much efficiency as they have in the past. So Lamar Jackson last year finishing as quarterback numero 10 in 4-point per passing touchdown leagues and quarterback 10 in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues, averaging 22.2 4-point per passing touchdown points per game and 25.7, meaning from a points per game perspective, in 4-point per passing touchdown, he was quarterback 9, tied with Justin Herbert, the pervert, and in 6-point per passing touchdown, he was quarterback number 11. He put up 2,700 passing yards, 22nd at the quarterback position for 26 total touchdowns, which obviously is not the greatest, but you're not really drafting Lamar for him to throw 50 touchdowns, obviously. He had 9 interceptions last year as well, so his quarterback to interception ratio was pretty solid, but it has been pretty solid throughout his whole NFL career. Again, throwing for a grand total of 26 touchdowns, 2,757 passing yards. In the rushing game, he rushed for the most carries and had the most rushing yards, 159 carries and 1,005, rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns, 4th highest at the quarterback position. So Lamar Jackson's gonna get it done with his feet. You just gotta hope through the air it gets a little bit better. I think this Ravens passing attack should be better with the addition of the wide receiver who they added in the draft, whose name is escaping me. Rashad Bateman, that is. I apologize for having a severe lapse of judgment in my membrane for not saying the correct name there. Rashad Bateman, he looks pretty talented. Probably going to be the wide receiver 1 there, if I'm being honest with you. Hollywood Brown has never shown it consistently. I do think that this offense, though, could be a little bit better in the passing department in 2021. I won't be fading Lamar Jackson, but I won't have him inside of my top 4 in 2021. Next up at number 6, we got a guy who I mentioned just a couple seconds ago, Justin Herbert, the pervert, quarterback of the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, Justin Herbert, coming into 2021, I had the expectation that this guy was about as useful as a broken condom, that he was not going to do anything in the NFL, that he was going to be a bust. A straight-up bust was what I thought, and the only thing that was a bust about Justin Herbert is the fact that this guy was busting on the defense, fucking Johnny Sins style. I'm telling you, pretty much everyone was wrong about Justin Herbert. I was watching all these videos before the draft. Justin Herbert sucks. That was probably a title of a video. Justin Herbert fucking sucks. He's a bust. He's this, he's that. And then while I'm watching these videos, I'm watching his tape, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe he will be a bust. And he proved me completely wrong. And you want to know why Justin Herbert started playing? Because his doctor thought that he was stabbing Julius Caesar or something and hit him with the good old 1-2 stabby stab, like a ballistic knife, or what is that called? I don't even know. In COD, when you had like the pistol and you got the knife, the tack knife attachment, that's basically what he did to Tarad's fucking, I don't even remember, his lung maybe it was, just stabbed it up real quick. And then Justin Herbert got into the game, and once that occurred, this guy was easily going to be the Rookie of the Year. Not easily, I guess, because if Joe Burrow kept on playing, I think Burrow would have ended up getting it, but Herbert probably would have easily have came in second. The guy was devouring these defenses. In 15 games, obviously, the only game he didn't play was week 1 because Tyrod was healthy, playing as quarterback number 9 in 15 games, of 4-point per passing touchdown leagues and quarterback 9 in 6-point, averaging 22.2 4-point per passing touchdown points per game, which again tied with Mr. Lamar Action Jackson, and 26.3 6-point per passing touchdown points per game. From a points per game perspective, was quarterback 9 in 4-point, and in 6-point was quarterback number 9 as well. So what's different about the LA Chargers? Well, they decided to revamp the offensive line, bringing in Lindsley, drafting these guys around him. Justin Herbert now will not have to be afraid of the offensive line getting folded like a chair in Buffalo. Now or a table in Buffalo. I say that in like every video because it's just such a good analogy, metaphor, simile, whatever it was. I guess I didn't pass 5th grade English. So when you look at it here, his numbers were very nice. 595 passing attempts for Herbert the pervert, 4th highest at the quarterback position, 4,300 passing yards, 6th highest at the quarterback position, and 31 total passing touchdowns for Mr. Justin Herbert to just 10 INTs, 31 touchdowns to 10 INTs. Herbert had quite the rookie season, obviously, which is why he was awarded with the Pepsi Rookie of the Year is what I think they called it. No free ads, though. 55 carries, 5 rushing touchdowns, and 234 rushing yards. Now, he's kind of like more like Mahomes, where I don't expect him to really get a high amount of rushing touchdowns or rushes per game, but he definitely can do it, as we have seen him do it last year, especially with that touchdown he scored up against the Las Vegas Raiders at the end of the year. That was very cool when they ended up winning that game, I believe, in overtime. The weapons-wise, they lose Hunter Henry, but they bring in Jared Cook, so it's like a lateral move. Like, I don't think Hunter Henry is that much better than Jared Cook. They still have, obviously, Keenan Allen. They still have Austin Eckler, who is basically just free yards for Justin Herbert, because all he has to do is dump it to the side, and then the short man, Mr. Clean, Austin Eckler, is going to maneuver his way through the defense. Still have Mike Williams, who I don't love. They're drafted some other wide receivers in the draft who should be just about all right. So I do think overall this LA Chargers team looks pretty similar to last year. And if Herbert's able to take a further step up, like I think he can, as a top 6 or top 5 quarterback, in my opinion, he should look pretty good. At number 7, we have Mr. Let Russ Cook at number 7 of the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Russell Wilson is a guy that, frankly, I have no fucking idea what to think about. Now, he's my quarterback 7 because I know exactly what to think about him, and that's the fact that I am worried about Pete Carroll. I talked about this in my last video, the wide receiver rankings, how I'm worried about DK Metcalf because of the quarterback position. At the beginning of the year, Russell Wilson is absolutely butt-fucking these defenses. Quarterback 1, week 1. Quarterback 4, week 2. Quarterback 2, week 3. Week 4 up against Miami. Quarterback 10, a tough defense. Week 5 up against Minnesota. Quarterback 7. Then quarterback 5. Then quarterback 2. Quarterback 10. And then about halfway through the season, week 10 on, he started to fall off. Week 10 against LA. Number 19. Then number 11 against Arizona. Then number 18 against Philly. Number 20 against the Giants. Kind of just simmering down because they started to run the rock more. I don't understand Pete Carroll's philosophy, and that is going to scare me away from drafting Russell Wilson. Now, I still think he's going to end up finishing as like a top 8 guy, so he's ranked at number 7, but I think I'm going to be honest, I think I might be fading Russell Wilson a lot in 2021. He may prove me wrong. He proved me wrong last season because I was fading him for the exact same reason I am now. But we really saw it happen at the end of the season. And after the season, Pete Carroll's talking about establishing the run game more. They re-signed Chris Carson. I just don't know about Russell Wilson. Last season, Mr. Russell Wilson had 558 passes for 4,212 passing yards, 9th highest at the quarterback position, and 40 touchdowns, 2nd highest at the quarterback position, as well as only throwing 13 interceptions. But again, a lot of this was happening early on in the year, so don't be surprised if Russell Wilson ends up failing a lot of people. Let me know what you guys think about Russ down below. Are you with me? Being a little bit nervous, being a little wary? Or maybe I'm just completely wrong and Russ is going to cook it up again in 2021. At number 8, we have Mr. Discount Double Check, Mr. State Farm, Mr. Jeopardy, Mr. I don't want to be the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers, who is the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. Reports are coming out that Jordan Love is just not ready. They need to repair this fucking relationship with Aaron Rodgers surgically, just like Aaron Rodgers surgically dissects the defense every single fucking Sunday. Aaron Rodgers was a guy that I disliked going into last season. I thought that this team was fraudulent in 2019, and I really believed it. I thought that their head coach was an idiot, Matt LaFleur. I thought he was a dumbass. I thought all these things, and I guess I was wrong. Clearly, I was wrong. I mean, Aaron Rodgers won the MVP, but he didn't win the MVP because that was for Mr. Kiss and Titties, Mitchell Trubisky. Aaron Rodgers, in 16 games, finishes as quarterback 2 in 4-point per passing touchdown leagues and quarterback 1 in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues, averaging 23.9 4-point per passing touchdown points and 29.9 6-point per passing touchdown points, meaning from a points per game perspective, he was quarterback 5 and quarterback 3 in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues. So, what's different about this offense? A lot. Because we don't know if Rodgers is even going to be injected into this offense. He might be a Denver Bronco. I still feel if he's a Bronco, I'm still going to put him inside the top 8, top 10. So, shouldn't really matter. But, like, what is there to talk about Aaron Rodgers? I assume he's going to be the quarterback of the Packers. Like 2 weeks ago, I assumed that, but now I'm kind of like, man, this guy might fucking retire. I don't know. I read that they gave him like this fat contract, right? Here you go, this big contract, Mr. Rodgers. All you got to do is sign it. Rodgers is like, fuck off. Like, you've screwed me for all these years. You draft Jordan Love instead of drafting me a receiver. You bring me Amari Rodgers. It's not the greatest. I hate this team. It's basically what he's saying. So it's hard to kind of understand what to think about Aaron Rodgers, but if he's the quarterback of the Packers, he should be good with Devontae Adams as long as Adams can stay healthy. The receiver core is just about all right because, yet again, they failed to draft Rodgers, a guy, in the first round, even though 4 seconds before the NFL draft, news is coming out from Adam Schefter that everything is burning down. It's just burning completely down like that when fucking SpongeBob is trying to figure out now, for all the younger people around my age, you'll understand this. Maybe some of the older people who are watching as well. There's a wide range of people who watch my videos. So maybe you and your child, or maybe you just watch it. SpongeBob's awesome. But when he's trying to figure out, like, fine dining, I think is what the episode's about, and his brain literally is on fire. That's what my brain feels like right now, trying to figure out what the hell's happening with the Green Bay Packers. The MVP, Aaron Rodgers, threw for 4,200 passing yards, 7th highest at the quarterback position, 48 passing touchdowns, 1st highest at the quarterback position, and was throwing very little INTs, as he only threw for 5 INTs with 48 touchdowns. So Aaron Rodgers did play very good last season, which was obvious because he won the MVP. He is not going to be one of those guys that's going to rush the ball, frankly, at all. Will somehow score like 3 touchdowns like Tom Brady rushing, but he's not going to rush for over like probably like 160 yards, I would doubt. He rushed for 149 last year. I highly doubt he gets higher than that in 2021 by a significant amount. Again, with Rodgers, it's so subjective because we have no idea what's going to happen in this situation. So that's really all I'm going to say about it at quarterback 8. I think he's pretty safe, though, if he's the Packers quarterback. At number 9, we have my boy Matty Snapback, who is now the quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams. Former quarterback of the Detroit Lions, and the L is capital because they keep fucking losing every single game. But now, with their new head coach who said he's biting kneecaps off, I like the Lions. I do. It's very fun. I've always liked the Lions, and I've always liked Matthew Stafford. Didn't play the greatest last year, but his weapons died during the season. Kenny Golladay, he was hurt, but I think he was like hurt, not injured, to where he could have came back, but he's like, nah, I'll pass. I'll go to the Giants. Like, I mean, he was gone for a lot of the year. Marvin Jones was banged up. It was a shitty situation for Stafford, who finished as quarterback 16 in 4-point and 15 in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues, averaging 16.3 4-point per passing touchdown points and 19.5 6-point per passing touchdown points, meaning from points per game perspective, he was quarterback 23 in 4-point and 21 in 6-point. So what's new about Stafford? Obviously now in LA. In LA, replacing Jared Goff. Now, some people, just like with Kingsbury, or definitely with Kingsbury, things have turned sour from their fans. I don't think the LA Rams fans hate Sean McVay, but I think a lot of people are starting to be like, man, is this McVay guy a fucking fraud? I don't think so. I think this offense is juiced like fucking that horse who won the Kentucky Derby, just juiced up. Robert Woods, Bobby Trees, who I talked about as my wide receiver 12 in the last video. Cam Akers, very good. Top 12 running back. They got Cooper Kupp. They've got Tyler Higbee. I mean, who wasn't the greatest. They bring in Deshaun Jackson, who will be good week 1. They bring in Tutu Atwell. This offense is looking pretty spicy for the LA Rams. I'm thinking that Stafford, while his 2019 campaign literally would have been one of the best quarterback seasons ever. I'm going to pull it up and read it to you real quick. This man threw for 2,400 yards, 2,499 yards in 8 games and 19 passing touchdowns. He would have probably thrown for 40 fucking touchdowns and 4,000 or 5,000 passing yards, which obviously isn't the best ever, but it's a very impressive season, like, you know, what Patrick Mahomes did a couple years ago. And Stafford doesn't get the love that Mahomes does, and he does similar things. He maneuvers his way through the pocket, he steps up, he throws sidearm, he does all types of wicked, smart shit, and people don't give him the credit for it. In 2021, everyone will be like, God damn, now that we actually see him on Red Zone, He's good. Who would have known? Who would have known? Notorious Fantasy knew. I knew. All right. I kind of feel like an asshole calling myself that. Nick knew. I knew. I love Stafford. Mr. Matthew Stafford, Matthew Snapback threw 528 times last year for 4,000 passing yards, 12th highest at the quarterback position, for a grand total of 26 passing touchdowns, 12th highest at the quarterback position. But obviously, his interceptions were there last year with 10, but that's obviously not super high as well. He just frankly has zero maneuverability he has a lot of maneuverability in the pocket, but he never gets out of the pocket and runs. 29 carries for 112 yards last year. Again, it's just a simple, he goes from a bad team to a really good team with a really good wide receiver core, with a good coach and a good running back. It should bode well for Mr. Matthew Stafford. At number 10, we have my boy Joseph Burrow, quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals, I'm thinking they have to draft Penny Sewell. They got to draft the man to protect Mr. Joey B, who has torn his ACL. He's torn his ACL. And you know what they do? They draft his boy. They bring his boy back, Jamar Chase. We got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler. Yeah, boy, this offense is loaded like a spicy nacho griller at Taco Bell. All right, this dude is he's loaded. This offense is loaded like Bill Gates. Even after his wife divorced him, the dude's still loaded. That's the type of loaded offense we got here. Joe Burrow, the number 1 overall pick in the first couple of games. He's tearing it up. He's playing good. And then he gets hurt. Quarterback 25 and 4-point per passing touchdown leagues, and quarterback 25 and 6-point per passing touchdown leagues playing in just 10 games. 17.4 4-point per passing touchdown points per game, and 20 in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues. From a points per game perspective, quarterback 18 and quarterback 19 in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues. So what's different, obviously, the weapons are even better. The offensive line should be slightly better. Slightly better. Would have been a lot better with the generational talent named Penei Sewell, but, it is what it is. That's not what they wanted to do. Mr. Joey B threw the ball 404 times in just 10 games for a grand total of 2,688 passing yards, 13 passing touchdowns, and he did kind of... Nah, never mind. I honestly, without looking at the numbers, I seem to remember him throwing some interceptions, but it was only 5 total interceptions, so a 13-to-5 ratio is pretty solid. That's why we bring up the numbers and don't just talk out of our ass. He also is kind of sexy at rushing the ball. Also a good-looking guy, pretty sexy as well. Pause. 37 carries, 136 rushes, and 3 rushing touchdowns. I assume that the line's going to block better for him. I hope so. I sure hope so. And the one worry, though, is he may not be good to go for week 1. That is a worry. A big worry, obviously, for drafting him as your only quarterback, so we're going to make sure to monitor that. But the guy out of LSU, go Tigers, is going to be a top 10 quarterback in 2021, and he probably could have been, maybe, last year if he played all 16 games. But now with Jamar Chase there, sheesh. At number 11, we have Jalen Hurts. Now, this hurt me to put him this high over a guy that I would normally put ahead of him, but for some eventually this guy at 12 is going to fall off, but he probably never will. So at number 11, we got Jalen Hurts in 15 games last year. It's not 15 games. He only started like 4 games, but they say 15 games because he gets in and runs the ball once, and then Doug Peterson's dumb fucking ass takes him out of the game. He really only played 4 games for Wentz, when Wentz just went absolutely mental and had just was a mental midget in those games. Literally just doing mental gymnastics on himself, just was talking to himself, telling him, he was literally just terrible. And I think it wasn't even the fact that, the line was terrible, the receivers were terrible. He was also just so down on himself. I believe, personally. That's just what it looked like from watching the games. I hope Carson Wentz is okay. I love you, Carson Wentz. No, I don't. I actually fucking hate Carson Wentz, but... it is what it is. Quarterback 35, 4-point per passing touchdown leagues. Quarterback 36 for Jalen Hurts, averaging 7.2 points per game, 4.8 in 6-point, which again isn't very important because we're going to be talking about some real numbers here. The real numbers that matter. This is his splits, his 10 games versus his 4 games. And we're not even going to talk about the 10 games because their 10 games don't matter because he wasn't starting. In the games he was starting, this man was averaging 26.29 points per game with 33.25 passing attempts per game, 17.25 completions, 1.25 passing touchdown per game, 229.75 passing yards per game, 68 rushing yards, one off of being very nice, as Borat would say, and 0.75 rushing touchdowns per game. Now think about it from the perspective that he's going to be the starter, that they bring in Devontae Smith, his college friend, which people will say, fuck it. I mean, I'll say it because it's funny, but I don't really care too much about that. But I think that Jalen Hurts has a lot of upside from the rushing ability, really. That's why he has so much upside. He's not as safe as the guy going behind him, but his upside is much stronger, in my opinion. Closing out the top 12, we've got TB12, Tampa Bay Tom Brady, who I fucking hated when he was in New England, but I like him in Tampa Bay because he's not butt fucking my Dolphins. Even though the Dolphins always had his number in Miami, he'll always remember that. 6'5", 211 pounds. Dude's 43 years old, going to be 44 during next season, which is just crazy. Just crazy. The guy's literally so old. So fucking old. Let's see. 4,616 passing yards. Something light last year. 610 attempts. Something light. 40 passing touchdowns. That's nothing, right? It's nothing. He doesn't rush the ball, though, at all. He's still trying to keep above 1,000 rushing yards, I think. He got 6 rushing yards last season. 3 rushing touchdowns, though. 30 rushes. I mean, Brady was quarterback 8 last year and 4-point. Quarterback 7 and 6-point. Averaging 21.1 4-point per passing touchdown points per game, 27.1 6-point passing touchdown per game, quarterback 12 in 4-point, and quarterback 6 in 6-point points per game. So, I mean, he's going to be Tom Brady, but they throw. Like at the beginning of New England, at least from my memory, now I was younger, a lot, when Tom Brady's been in the league since I was fucking birthed, okay? I'm almost 22. It's almost my birthday, guys. Happy birthday to me. I'm almost 22. Brady is like 7,000. He has been in the league since I was born. At the beginning, I believe, if my memory does not fail me, at some point in the career, New England was really heavy on passing, and then towards the end of his career in New England, they were rushing more, but in Tampa Bay, they're fucking airing the ball out, Jameis Winston style, except for without the interceptions, in Tampa Bay. Eventually, the wheels will fall off for Brady, but I just don't know when to project that to happen. People have been projecting it for at least 4 years at this point. And I've always hoped it happened, but it doesn't. It just doesn't happen. The guy will never fall off. It's crazy. It's insane. He's been in his peak for 22 fucking years. Ever since Bledsoe went down, this guy has been at his peak. It's crazy. It's literally insane. He's going to be good again. Top 12 guy without a doubt. Quarterback 11 if you want to be safe, but I'm not as safe. I like to be a little bit silly and not wrap my willy, if you catch my drift. And I would appreciate if you click that subscribe button. Otherwise, you can catch these hands, even though that's a joke, obviously. It's a joke. It's not a threat. It's just for fun. I hope you guys enjoyed. I want to ramble on a little bit after the video. It's 1:38 in the morning. People always comment about how I look high. I don't smoke. I don't do the drugs. Stay off the weed, Stephen A. style. It's just late at night, so I do look a little tired all the time, but that's just when I record. So I hope you guys had a great rest of your guys' day. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Happy Wednesday, because it's hump day. Only 2 days away from the weekend, if you think about it that way. So we're going to have a great time today, a great Wednesday. We're going to smash it on Thursday and Friday. I get my COVID vaccine, so I'm not too sure what's going to happen on Saturday for a video. Maybe I'm fucking dead, or there's like a microchip in my arm or something. I turn into an alien. Again, not a COVID specialist, just a guy getting the vaccine. So I hope you guys enjoy. I love you guys all. Make sure to stay safe. Make sure to have a good rest of your day. And make sure to remember that I love you guys. Thank you guys for everything. Again, I always say this at the end of my videos because I know the true people are watching right now. The true guys or gals. There are some girls that watch my videos. Surprising. But thank you guys for everything. Again, the numbers are going up. It's going to be August soon. Well, June, July is when the numbers start. Fucking to the moon, And that's what we're looking for. A moon landing in 2021. I love you guys all. Have a great rest of your guys' day. Stay safe. Hopefully this video wasn't too long to where you wanted to watch it all. So I love you guys. Stay safe. As always, goodbye.